Babe of the day. Babe of the day. Christine Carere. This week, I'll be talking about two greatly underrated French actresses who had all too brief careers in America. They were attractive, they were talented, but for whatever reason, they weren't given the Hollywood preferential treatment. Today I'll be talking about Christine Carere. Come back Wednesday for Annie Farget. If you're not already aware of this, you can become a member of the One Step Past channel and see my videos earlier than non-members. I generally work up new videos 1 to 2 weeks in advance. For just $1.99 a month, you can see all that Babe of the Day goodness early, as well as my other videos, and some members-only stuff. Christine Carere traveled from France to the Mardi Gras with a certain smile. After going back to World War II, shooting and blowing up Nazis, her career was over with a blue light. Just what am I talking about? Stick around, Baby Maniacs, because it will all make sense. Christine Carere is just one cool lady. Born in France, there was no mistaking her Frenchness. I mean this in the best possible way. She looked French, she acted French, and even though she spoke perfect English, she had a very thick French accent. Christine had a way about her, and when she appeared on screen, she outshined many of the other performers. She started appearing in French movies when she was just 20. These were generally smaller parts in comedies and dramas. By 1954, when she was around 24, she started getting leading lady parts in movies. She played the female lead in the musical comedy Everything Sings Around Me. After that, she continued to get leading lady, or at the very least, strong supporting parts. In 1957, Christine got noticed by 20th Century Fox in America. They hired her to appear in 3 movies. The first 2 were released in 1958. A Certain Smile was a romantic drama, and Christine played the lead. She didn't know any English at the time and trained for 10 months before filming. Unfortunately, the movie didn't do well. Her next movie that year was Mardi Gras, a musical comedy where she played the leading lady opposite of Pat Boone. This did better than A Certain Smile, although it wasn't a super hit. 20th Century Fox took another chance on Christine and made her the female lead opposite of Sal Mineo in the musical comedy A Private's Affair. This is another one that did alright at the box office, but wasn't a huge moneymaker. After A Private's Affair, Christine didn't appear in anything for years. Why would that even be? For one thing, it appeared Fox was just done with her. They put her in movies that were throwaway junk, and when they didn't bring in gobs of money, they lost interest in her. If they put Christine in an A picture with good actors, they would have gotten more out of her. For another thing, Christine got married in 1957 to a French actor by the name of Philippe Nicod. After a few years of marriage, she decided to retire from the screen. They would ultimately stay married for decades until her death, and had 2 sons. I'm happy that things worked out for her in that way. Christine wasn't entirely done with acting though, and her next project was, by far and away, the coolest thing she ever did. In 1966, she became the leading lady of Blue Light, an intense spy series on ABC. The show ran for only half a season of 17 episodes, but it was a quality production that deserved a much longer run. Of course, this show originally aired before my time, so it took the internet for me to discover it. Ah, the internet. It is good for some things. I started watching the show because of its star, Robert Goulet. I had seen Robert in other acting roles, and I knew he was good. I continued watching the show because of Christine Carere. She was extremely important to the series, and a big reason why it works. The series is set during World War II. Robert Goulet plays David March. To most of the world, he is known as an American journalist and broadcaster who turned traitor to America and now works in a high-level position of the Nazi government. In reality, he is an undercover saboteur working for the spy organization Blue Light. Every episode, he has to deal with people who really think he's a Nazi supporter and are out to kill him. He also has to deal with distrusting Nazi officials who believe he's still working for the enemy. The slightest slip-up could get David March killed. Besides a handful of high-placed government officials in America and England, his only real ally is the beautiful blonde French woman Suzanne Duchard. Christine plays Suzanne, and she really knocks it out of the park. Like David March, she plays like she is a Nazi supporter. However, she is part of the underground French resistance. Suzanne helps David communicate with Blue Light and backs him up on his dangerous missions. She is incredibly capable with weapons and everything that goes with spying. Like David, she too is in a high-risk position and runs the risk of getting killed over the slightest mistake. During the course of the series, David and Suzanne develop a romantic relationship. By episode 10, for sure, they are a couple. As part of their cover, Suzanne has to play like she really hates David when they're around Nazis and other people. As much as David's connection to Blue Light can't be revealed, neither can his partnership with Suzanne be suspected. These are half-hour shows, but more action and character development happens in one of these episodes than in many hour-long programs, then or now. Suzanne Duchard was a cool character at the start of the series, and became even cooler as the series progressed. Christine Carere was in most of the episodes and was definitely a co-lead, but her name doesn't appear in the opening credits. As much as this was Robert Goulet's show, it was also Christine's, and it was an incredible oversight to not acknowledge her at the beginning. Christine, as Suzanne Duchard, looks good, and she's very ladylike on screen. Then she goes and does things like shoot off guns and bazookas, blows up Nazi officers, and drives fast. This is such a great character, and such a great show, that the injustice of Blue Light's cancellation goes beyond just throwing away a good show. Robert Goulet was a successful singer and actor, and even though he acted plenty after this, it was mostly in one-off parts or as cameos. Had this series been allowed to succeed, he could have been a really, really big actor. He was really good in this show. The early cancellation of Blue Light was really detrimental to Christine Carere's career. This was her last acting role. Even though she had been acting since the early 1950s, I feel she was just getting started. She had a lot left to give. So what happened to Christine after Blue Light? Simply, she quit acting and moved back to France, where she lived with her husband and 2 children. Christine largely stayed out of show business, but she and her husband became 2 of the screenwriters for a French comedy film in 1985. Christine died in 2008. Philippe died the next year. She had a good, long life after she left show business. Still, it's a shame that she quit so soon, because she had a very promising career that was unrealized. She could have done a ton of action shows like Blue Light, and, as witty as she would have been great in more comedy shows. By the way, Christine's husband Philippe guest starred in an episode of Blue Light. It was in the 11th episode, Jet Trail. In this episode, David March poses as an OSS agent in order to help the French resistance recover a top-secret jet engine from a German plane that crashed. If the resistance even suspected he was David March, a man believed by the world to be a Nazi supporter, he would be dead meat. Philippe played André Laval, the leader of the little French group that David helps out. He mistrusts David from the very start, and is an irritant for most of the episode. In the climax, Andre totally believes the man is David March. Suzanne, who is pretty high up in the resistance, comes in at the last minute and tells the others that their prisoner is not David March. Things are that tricky with this series. Andre wasn't a bad guy, and neither was David March. But if Andre knew for a fact that David was David March, David would have an almost impossible time explaining it before he was executed. It's an intense show. What really made Blue Light shine its brightest was its leading lady, Christine Carere. I feel she is an often overlooked actress, even in her home country. But her work still holds up, and she will always have the honor of being a Babe of the Day, Babe of the Day,